good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everybody everywhere. It is a chilly holiday. Just the weather's just kind of perfect for the holidays, for that last minute shopping that you got to run out and do like I just did. It was perfect, but it is chilly. And it is December, and it is almost the end of the year. So the weather is exactly as it's supposed to be outside my door. What's it looking like outside your door? Today, we are going to be talking, we're still talking about our holiday issues. And we know that so often in December, especially for those people who are late shoppers who don't plan well, they always run out at the last minute, they overspend. And then when January's bills come in, they're still paying them until almost June. And June is the time you should be shopping and getting ready for the next year. But so often we are living beyond our means. In other words, as Professor Neosung put it, cut your coat according to your cloth. Don't try and, if your cloth ain't but 1 inch by 1 inch, don't be trying to take more than that. In other words, we're saying live by your means. And this holiday, this is what we want to encourage you to do. Not saying that you should not spend, not saying that you should not indulge. We're talking about planning properly so that when the new year comes in, you're not coming into the new year with a whole bunch of debt. Welcome to Africa Online TV. I am Prophetess Lisa, and at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our co-host for the editorial of the day, Professor Niasan. How are you, my brother, and what's it looking like down in your neck of the woods?
It's cold. Yes, it is winter. And of course, today is the first day of winter.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow. Okay.
It's officially the first day of winter. I'll be saying something about that. Thank you and welcome, because we missed you last week. It was really, you were sorely missed, but we're happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Appreciate
that. As I said earlier, I saw Dr. Crossing last week, but by the time I finished my editorial, she was gone. And
oh, wow.
I missed a pearl. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Today is December the 21st, 2025. It is the 355th day of the year 2025. And there are thus just 10 days left until this year is behind us. 10 days, yes.
Wow.
It is the 51st Sunday of 2025 on the 52nd week of 2025 when we use United States week standard calculations. It is finally here. What is that? Yes, today is the first day of winter. Winter is officially here. I was saying that earlier. The season is usually about 90 days long. That means that we have now 89 days and counting till the end of winter. It's just starting, and we're already talking about the need for it to end. Yes, because the cold, many of us don't like it. We don't like driving in winter, in snow. We don't like living with this cold because it makes us feel really bad. It is part of the natural phenomena of the world, but we don't like it very much. Today is the fourth Sunday of Advent. This 21st of December is also the 8th day of Hanukkah, that is a Jewish observance. How did you start this 21st day of December? Do you know that it is the shortest day of the year with the sun setting at 4:49 p.m.? Yes, the sun will set at 4:49. Did you know that you did not have to bother making your bed when you got up this morning? If you made your bed, well, good. It is a habit you have cultivated. But today was officially the day they say, don't make your bed. Well, that is just for fun. Yeah, that is just for fun. So don't worry about that. If you made your bed, well and good. If you have not yet done this, then engage your brain with a crossword puzzle or immerse yourself in a short story. Do some reading. Yes, it keeps the mind bright, it keeps the mind working, it keeps the mind going. So spread some cheer as you do so by especially appreciating SHORT, that is short people. Officially appreciate short people in your life and make sure that you give them a cheer up, because they are not short because they wanted to be short, but because they were made to be like that. whatever it is, just give them a cheer and say, oh, don't worry about your height. Height is not what is important. Remember those less fortunate with a moment of reflection for homeless people. Yes, remember homeless people today. I know in some cities, in some localities, they are not wanted at all, but they are part of the world. And no matter how the day has gone, this day, 21st of December, no matter how it has gone or is going, don't forget to appreciate the unique beauty of this shortest day of the year. I already said it is the shortest day of the year. And whatever you do today, know that Africa Online Media Corporation is here to help you better figure out how to cut your coat according to your cloth, or as the saying goes, how to live within your means. So how do you live within your means? How do you do that? As the year ends, as the times change, all you have to do is adapt to your circumstances, or better still, ensure that what you plan for is within your means or within the budget you have in mind. Don't go above your budget. You can do this by aspiring to get to a state of financial independence or stability, so you have never, a state in which you have never been, because sometimes we don't plan these things, but they happen. Yes, it means living within your means rather than earning, say, $500 a day and budgeting to spend $700 or $800 a day. No, don't do that. When you say you live within your means, it means that your lifestyle is perfectly aligned to how much you earn. Don't earn less and spend more. So at this point, I'd like to call on our chair, the Reverend Ambassador, not Ambassador, I always make the mistake of saying Ambassador, the Reverend Her Royal Highness Pam Fuminong. She's behind the scenes, but she'll be speaking. Welcome and welcome us to the show. Did I miss her?
Okay. Sound like she may have
Okay.
stepped away.
Okay, you go ahead now.
Yeah, so Nia Sung, I heard you say today is the shortest day. So does this day have a specific name?
It's just the shortest day of the
Oh,
year.
just the shortest day.
Yes,
I wasn't aware that we had, I know that we have the winter solstice, which is supposed to be the longest day, but I had never heard that we had a shortest day.
yeah, it is. Yes.
What makes it the shortest day?
I don't know. I didn't go into the.
Oh, okay.
I
I
didn't
have to
go
look
into
it
the
up.
details. Yeah, I
I
didn't
heard
find
you say
out.
that the sun is going down in what, about 40 minutes?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't even think the sun was out. It's
Yeah,
so cloudy.
given
It's
the
so
weather, given the cloudiness we see out there, we didn't know that it's even dark or something or clear. Yeah, I went out, but I said, okay, no problem. I will not watch the sky today.
Okay. So we're talking about living within your means. And as I said earlier, it is the holiday. And a lot of times we get carried away at the holidays only because we don't plan properly. Now, somebody says they can't begin to think about Christmas in June or July, but think of that song, Christmas in July. That is a good time to start planning for the Christmas to come. If you're thinking about Christmas in July, I know that their stores have lots of sales. So that would be a good time to start looking at your gift list. But let me tell you the best time there's something to really start thinking about next Christmas. And I have always done it. I don't do it anymore because I don't have, well, now I have new grandchildren to shop for. But when my boys were little, I did my Christmas shopping and my shopping for most of my family those days between January, like end of December, all of January when everything is 75% off. That's when I started buying gifts. My children didn't bring me gift lists, wish lists and things like that. So, and I knew, kind of what I wanted them to have. So I started looking for things when they were 75% off, and I didn't have no problem hiding them and, just putting them up until it was the time so that when Christmas arrived, I was not stressed out with trying to buy things at full price. I wasn't trying to buy things at the last minute. when I put my tree up at the 1st of December, all my gifts were already wrapped and under the tree. By the time I put the tree up, gifts were ready to go under it then. So we want to talk about pre-planning. Basically, when we're talking about not cutting your coat more than
the cloth you have.
yeah, not cutting your cloth more than you have. Sorry, I was looking at a message from Reverend Pam.
Yeah.
So, um, the best thing,
basically not living beyond your means.
yes, physically not living beyond your means. And while we're talking about it here, especially during December, this is a time that we really get beyond ourselves because you're trying to buy for everything, for everyone. You got all your family at home. You have your coworkers at work, especially if you're a family. Now, on my son's job, my son is just a co-worker. They don't celebrate birthdays and things like that. But on my job, we were a family. We celebrated each other's kids, births, deaths, weddings. So that's a very big family to provide for as well. So you want to make sure that you are planning properly, not just at the holiday time, but all year long. December is a very good time, even in all your busyness. December and January is a very good time to start looking at your budget. Start looking at the things that you're going to need to do in the coming year so that you can be comfortable and not overstressed. Since the pandemic, Nia Song, a lot of people are dealing with a lot of stress. They're stressed about being locked in the house. They were stressed about having their kids at home, trying to homeschool them as well. And everybody was in at the same time. And it seems like even though the world has begun to open, it doesn't seem like that stress level has left the people. Some people are still working from home. Some people's jobs say come in, then they stay home, then it's come in, then the kids are home, and then they're not. So you're always in a constant state of uncertainty. Almost don't know what's going to be happening from one day to the next. But we must reduce our stress as much as possible. I
Very, very
say,
important. Yeah, very, very.
yes, do what you can do for today. And what doesn't get done today, you put it on the list for tomorrow. Maybe it goes to the top of the list and it gets done tomorrow. But if not, oh well. So, what are some things, Nia, something that you have done to stay within your means?
I do everything not to spend when I should not.
Mm-hmm.
I buy the needed, not the unnecessary. When I go to the store, I shop for what I listed. I don't buy out of my list.
Wow.
But before I leave the house, I prepare a list and I stick by it, and I make sure that I don't spend beyond that. And I was going to ask you a question out of this because on Thanksgiving Day, one of my grandsons said, "Grandpa, let's put up the Christmas tree." Is there a date or a time frame for putting up Christmas trees?
Anytime after Thanksgiving, from Thanksgiving on is good. But there's I live in South Philly and I live where a lot of Italians are. So a lot of the Italians in my neighborhood, especially the old Italians, by the time Thanksgiving comes, they already have their Christmas decorations not only up, but they're already lit. Their houses are already lit up for Christmas by Thanksgiving. So that when your family comes, some people are not really into the football and stuff. So when the family comes after dinner, they start putting their Christmas decorations up. But in my family, when I was a child and still living at home with my mother and my sisters, my siblings, I always picked the first Saturday in December. That Thanksgiving weekend, I was outside washing windows, washing the outside of the house, around the window sills, so that the lights could go up. I started putting the lights up inside the house, all around the ceilings and down the railings, so that by the time company came on the first Saturday, the only thing we were doing was decorating the tree, baking cookies, singing carols, and having fun. So yes, Thanksgiving would have been a good day if you were not watching football.
Thank you very much. My
Yes.
grandson will be happy to know that he was right in asking me to put up to start putting up the Christmas tree. But he finally put it up himself. He's 14, so he did a
Oh,
good
okay.
job.
He's 14, you said?
Yeah, he did a good job.
Oh yeah, he could do that himself.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So thank you for answering that question and talking about living within one's means. As I said, I make sure I stay within my list. I don't go out of the list, but I make sure that if there is a last minute addition to be made, I make it to be able to keep up with the times and with the people around me, especially those in my family.
And if something comes up, do you put it on the list?
Yes, when it comes up, I look at it, the validity of it, the goodness of it, and I add it to the list. But that will be for another day, for another day's shopping, not on that particular day's shopping.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So if you went to the store and you knew that you only had enough sugar to last you a week, and you were going to have to buy some next week, and sugar happens to be on sale this week, you're not going to buy it?
I am not much influenced by those prices going up or down.
Oh,
I just buy when I want to buy or when I need to buy.
so sales do not move.
Sales do not influence me that much. Yes.
That's interesting because I left out of here this morning. As soon as church was over, I ran out and I made a list. If I make a list, because if I don't, I'm gonna forget something, and then I'm gonna get home and remember, darn, you were supposed to go to that store. So I had to make a list of every. I needed to go to Staples. I needed to make copies. I needed to go exchange something that I walked at the store still has security tags on it. And ended up when I went back to the store to take the gift back to get the security tag taken off of it, I ended up spending $55 because I remembered my two sons, one of our friends who's like a brother, and then I thought about this one. I was like, oh man, I forgot to get, I'm going to be going into the office tomorrow. Oh man. So I ended up spending all this extra money that I had not intended because it was not on my list.
Yes.
But the bargains were good. So
Okay.
I had to get them. I am a person who was influenced by sales. Clearance
Okay.
tags, red tags. My son told me, don't you bring not another house bag in this house with red tags on it. So, but and
Yes.
even though I've always been a big shopper,
Okay.
I only had three sons. Well, I had four sons at home, but I always shopped like I was feeding the neighborhood. I had a whole store in the basement. I had a great big giant freezer, and it was always full. So anybody could always come here and get food if they needed. And I kind of got it from my mom because my mom, she did the clothes. She would go in the store and she would buy everything on clearance. I don't care who it fit, she just buy it. And then she would bring it home and lay it out. And then she would invite the neighbors' kids to come in, especially if it was school time. And, we knew that some of our children were not going to have new clothes to go to school with the opening of school. So she would buy all the clothes and shoes and then invite them to come in and get what they needed so that they could go to school and not be teased because they had on last year's clothes or the clothes are too small. My mother was always very concerned about how children were handled and how they were mistreated by their peers. So we did our part to make sure that they had clothes and food. You could always come to my house for a meal, which means you always have to have extra food.
But
So
you always did your best to stay within your budget.
yes, we always stay in the budget. So
Yes.
my son just went to the store last week and steaks were on sale. And he came home with a whole entire bag of steak. I'm taking three to the office. We're gonna eat steak tonight, and then you can take mine. You can take three to your house, and if you want to take some to Christmas, that's how much steak the New York strips he came home with because they were on sale. He just could not leave them there, and he's got it kind of bad because he's picked up those bad habits from me. Not necessarily bad habits, but yes, we're not living outside of our means. We don't have credit card debt in the thousands of dollars. Matter of fact, my two sons have no credit at all. We tried to establish some credit for one of them when we bought furniture, but I wouldn't let them because the exchange, not the exchange, the interest rates they were trying to exchange, give him on lease that was not going to help establish credit. I couldn't allow him to do that. If it was going to help him establish credit of his own, then we would have went on with the high um, interest rate if necessary, but high interest rate and it's not going to affect his credit score and give him credit. I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So yes, we've always lived within our means, but we always set aside that extra money. So that's one thing that you can do. I know money is tight everywhere, but if you can take out a dollar or two and set aside as like emergency money, And when you see things that you know you're going to need, you may not need it right now today, but you know you're going to need it and it's on sale or it's on clearance, you're not really taking it from your budget. You're taking it from that emergency money that you have set aside.
Yes.
And this way you will have money that doesn't come out of your budget. Now, Nia-san, one thing that I don't think people do anymore is pay themselves.
Yes.
You remember, did you remember? I don't know. I don't know if you did it in Africa, but once you came to America and started working, did you pay yourself?
A friend told me to always make sure I pay myself first in whatever I do. I tried first, but it didn't work. So so I gave it up. I gave it up, and I just do what I have to do.
Oh, okay.
Ambassador Lisa, it's not in Africa a lot. Even business people don't pay themselves. They work and they think they make money or they make profit, but they don't pay themselves. They don't value their time and their labor. But let me ask, did anyone welcome our viewers? Or I had to step away for a second.
Yes, we did.
Okay, awesome. But I want to take a different angle to this cut your cloth according to your size. It's not just living beyond your means, it's also stressing yourself, trying to please other people. This is the first time I'm getting this kind of revelation about this topic. Where, okay, like Ambassador Lisa, you may get 10 different invitations for an activity on a weekend and you're trying to please everybody. You are trying to figure out how to go from one activity to the other and to the other to the other. You can't do that because that'll be operating above your capability. So I'm just bringing that angle in to cut your cloth according to your size. Okay, you know you can only attend one or two. Why stress yourself? Okay, I'll go here and spend 30 minutes and go here and spend 30 minutes and go try to please. That to me, that ties in with cutting your cut your coat according to your cloth. You know, let's put it this way: attend events according to your availability or according to your strength. I just thought about that. I say it falls in line with it. You know, if you cannot do something, don't kill yourself trying to do it. If you
Exactly.
cannot afford something, don't kill yourself. There are people that buy a big mansion and then they go get a second job. They barely sleep in the mansion that they buy.
Exactly.
Or they buy a new car because somebody has it. That's covetousness. And you can only drive one car. You already have another car. So there are different angles to it. But let me stop here so we can hear from Dr. Crossley.
Yeah, so welcome, Dr. Crosland. As I'm sure you've heard, you are unmuting, and we're talking about cutting your coat according to your cloth, aka living within your means. So how have
Well,
you
first of
been?
all, hello
Hello.
to the global audience. Hello, Professor Mia-san. Hello,
Hello.
Prophetess Lisa.
Bonjour.
And yes, sir. And hello, Dr. Pampomana, and everybody, and Holy Spirit, whom
You
I
just shifted
love.
out of the microphone. I mean, out of the camera. Yeah,
Oh,
now.
yeah, I
Yeah, you.
apologize for that. I'm walking around when
Oh,
I
okay.
start talking
Okay.
about the goodness of God and what he's done for me. I just want to dance, dance, dance. And yeah, sorry about the noise. I apologize about the noise in the background. I think that's the dryer, and I'm in the kitchen. So yeah, for me, every day is Christ-like, and um, I celebrate God's goodness every day. And my purchases are intentional, and just yesterday, I made a decision with Christ that I want to start a church in Japan. So um, that's exciting to me. And I'm really looking forward to it. And that's one of the things that I've been thinking about all day for the previous couple of days. So I hope that makes sense in joining into the global conversation. I can't speak for everybody. But I want to be that voice for Christ, and I just know His goodness is just something that I am experiencing that is real, and it's hard for me to not give him glory because he is the provider. And I can't explain how he blesses other people, but I know he's a blesser. And I know he blesses me when I give. So I'm a giver. And the more I give, he just keeps giving back to me more and more abundantly than I can ask or even think.
So you're
So go
Dr. Carter,
ahead.
so you're not having any issues, maybe not now, but maybe in your earlier years as a teenager or young adult, in, did you have any issues with living beyond your means, trying to keep up with the Joneses?
Well, if I saw, and you guys can look on my Facebook page, I'm being honest, and this is reality. This is when you put God first, you put God first. And I've always been, I was born this way. I remember when I came from, when I was in heaven before I even came here. And so if my neighbor got a brand new car, I would be shouting and thanking God because I'm like, okay, God's in the neighborhood. So I'm getting ready to get
All
blessed and
right,
get
that's a good
something
way to look
even
at it.
better.
Hmm.
That is
And
an amazing way to look at
That is
it.
yes, it is an amazing
Yes.
way to look at it. It said the scripture says to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who
Yeah.
mourn. So
and
Yeah.
she
so the
wasn't
rejoicing
being
part,
envious; she was rejoicing.
the
Mhm.
Yeah.
rejoicing part, so my neighbor, they did get a new car and all that. And but before that, I last previous Christmas, because they only live here part-time because there are other homes or wherever they are. And I asked him, like, how was his Christmas going? And he goes, oh, and his wife was right there. She didn't say a word. But he said, oh, I just give them the credit card. And he seemed like he was bothered by it. And I just told him, oh, just cheer up, you know. So everybody has a different perspective on giving and receiving around Christmas time. So now I'm thinking, now this Christmas, he's done the same thing. He just gives them the credit card. Um, so that's what some people do. They just give the credit card to the family and to the children, and they're done with it. Some people make lists. And, and I think, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but I think you can even do a registry like at Target or Walmart, the same way they do for bridal
Mm.
parties and stuff. I mean, I know they do the angel tree. Um, and things like that. I know, like, for me, I really got to get moving and start clearing out the garage and dropping off a lot of gifts.
You're dropping off a lot of gifts. You've already done your shopping, and
Well, this is even from last Christmas.
oh my goodness. Okay, somebody's been waiting all year for their gift.
Well, some people, we tried to have parties. You know how people want to have Christmas parties and they just get focused on other things. And just like you said, they just don't even get around to it. But one thing for sure, it's hard. What I was telling the new, a gentleman that I just met today, um, is that it's hard to find someone that's going to say no, that I'm not going to help the community.
Mhm.
When we look for volunteers to help. And because he's like a major helper type guy too, retired police officer. And he looks like he's only 21. He says he's 40. If I had access to the chat, I would put his photo in there. But yeah, it's really hard for people to say no to good causes. I told him there's no shortage of good people that want to help out. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Carslin. Good to see you again.
Yes, there's something Reverend Pam made allusion to a short while ago about wanting to, or trying to make sure that you don't tell yourself to go to all the parties to which you are invited, or to all
Yeah.
the events to which you are invited. It is
Right.
very important because you can only spend quality time with people if you really tend to, you really intentionally go to the invitation, spend time with them rather than just dropping in for 15 minutes and then moving on to another one. You cannot please everybody.
Right.
So
That's
please
right.
those that you can, and reach out to the others by phone or by telex or by whatever other communication you have, rather than trying to please everybody by stretching yourself thin.
So some people, if you know that you're going to have a party, I know there's some people who have annual Christmas Eve parties. You know that's going to be an annual thing. You know that that's coming up, and if you want to attend, you have it on your calendar. But now, for instance, I have two things on my calendar for next Saturday. They're both the same same time frame. Both the people are very close to me, but I know I can't do both of them at the same time. And I'm like, I'm not going to try and spend 30 minutes here and 30 minutes there because both these events cost money. And then someone called me last week to invite me to something for their church. And I'm like, my calendar is already booked up until July of 2026. There is rarely ever a empty Saturday that I can sit at home and do nothing, or I can say, "Oh yeah, I can go do that spur of the moment thing," because it's not likely. So even in our not cutting our or cutting our coat according to our cloth and not living beyond our means, that includes your calendar of events as well. You must have time for yourself. Got to have that self-care time. You must have time for your family. And then, of course, you have to have time for your community and your outside events. So those things must be budgeted into your schedule as well. Now, I got a text message last night from a cousin who said that she wished she could spend some quality time with me because she needs to talk about some things. And I looked at my calendar and I was like, where can I move some things around to get to New York? So sometime we have these emergency type of things. I heard a desperation even in her text message. So I'm going to make it my business. I'm not going to sit around and wait until July, our free weekend come up. I'm going to make it my business to get to New York on a Saturday or a Sunday. Maybe I can get in there a Friday to go and see about her, to go and check on her. But before I can do that, there's going to be phone calls. We're going to talk on the phone. So even these kinds of things must be budgeted into your schedule because life be lifing, Nia song. It just be lifing. You can't hardly do anything about it. But if you want to be able to be of assistance, as Dr. Crofton said, you want to be able to volunteer, and there's a whole slew of good causes, and your family is a good cause as well. And in this season where mental health, mental unbalances are going on, it is really necessary. I attended a funeral yesterday for one of the bishops in our city, very, very, very dear, close father of mine. And one of the young ladies that was there was telling me that one of her best friends killed herself 2 days ago. So she was almost carrying this weight and this guilt because she should have known. He had been depressed. His wife had left him it was only 2 months. Not saying that that's a long time or a short time. You can't judge people's grieving, but he had been very upset about his wife leaving. And she had decided that she was coming back, but before she got a chance to come back, he had already taken his life. So she was feeling like she did not do enough to hear him. She didn't do enough to go and check on him and see about him. So, as I was saying about the stress level in which people are living in nowadays, we need to take that time out. Like I said, I cannot get to New York tomorrow. I can't get there the day after, but I can pick up the phone and let's have a conversation. Let's just talk. So this is also a part of budgeting our time. It's not just budgeting your money. It's not just, planning things out. We have to plan everything nowadays. We must look at taking care of our friends, doing what we can to make sure that they're well and they're okay. So Nia-san,
Yes,
as
Ambassador.
we were talking about Reverend Payne was talking about events
Yes.
and having so many events coming up. I missed exactly what you were saying earlier about something that you were the chairman of, that you want to retire and people keep wanting you to be in charge. Now, is this a party?
Yes, we had an end of year party this Friday, or was it yesterday? So I went in, and the young people who were organizing, who were the chief organizers, they insisted on my being the chairman. So I said, oh, but there's time for everything. Why don't you let me just sit and see you people do it? But they said, no, no, you have to do it. So that is my way of, I mean, the way they treat me here, but they treat me respectfully, and they make sure that they honor me, and
Right.
they keep me engaged. I said,
Okay.
well, okay, it is part of making me busy, find myself busy, because if I just sit in the house, that would not be good enough. But I have to also make sure that I participate in the activities that you organize.
Yes, yeah, that one that keeps you young as well. Was this at school?
No, in a
Oh,
community.
the community.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they respect and honor your presence and your wisdom. So yeah, I understand you want to sit down sometime. I happened to be on my job the other day after we had sang we did our Christmas concert.
yes,
And I happened to be in the office, and there's some new employees who don't know me. So the coworkers that were there, they was like, "So this is Lisa. She the one did everything. This place would have been decorated by now. The tree would have been up. We'd have had our Christmas party because Lisa did everything." And I felt honored that that's how they still think of me. Matter of fact, I'm retired since 2019, but I had to go in the office in October and organize a retirement party and run it. Everybody was sitting, Lisa will do it, Lisa will take care of it. But you do want others to get to the place where they can take what you have started and run with it and do even better. But these things also must be budgeted into our time and our planning. Um, I try to go into the office at least once a week to see my friends. My other son is still there at work, and he is physically, not physically, mentally, he has a disability. So even though I got him trained enough to listen to the other secretary, I like to go in once in a while and check on him, make sure he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's listening. I'll call the other secretary to ask her, how's he doing? What's going on? Because he's been in my life since he was a little boy. But his mother and I had decided we would not retire until we got him trained. We got him to a place where he was vested, so his pension was vested, and we decided we would stay until those things were um, in place in his life. And he's doing very well. He's married now, and he's doing extremely well. But I still like to go. If I'm going downtown, I'm not going downtown without going into my office at least a few minutes to just sit down and chit chat. So it's important. It is important that we live within our means. We don't know what is coming down the pike. We don't know what our economy is going to be looking like. We don't know from one day to the next what our government is going to be doing. One day they're talking about getting rid of Social Security, the next minute they're talking about getting rid of the Medicare and Medicaid. So if we're not overextending ourselves in the good days, we need to start, you know what, we need to start thinking like Joseph. Remember when Joseph said, you know what, that dream means that we're going to have 7 good years and then we're going to have 7 lean years. So in the 7 good years, let's begin to lay up and put aside and put away what we need to have when we go through those bad times. So getting back to an earlier point that I was talking about when I was talking about paying yourself. For those of us who are in the Christendom world, we're paying our tithe, we're paying our offering, but we also need to take that 10%. If not 10%, then 5%. But we need to take something out of all that we work for and put it aside for ourselves. If not, what are we doing? We're just working to give all our money away to bills. So that when you see something that you really want, it's not in the budget, at least now you can say, I got a couple dollars set aside over there that I can, do this for myself. Again, it's about self-care. And if we don't take care of ourselves, no one else will. No one else is going to take care of you the way you do. So we must be able to spread ourselves not thin, but spread ourselves in such a way that everything can be covered.
And
So
that is
even
why, Ambassador, it is not good to buy what you do not need today. Keep it for the day you need it rather than buying it today. It will not, it will be still be in the store tomorrow. So why buy it today when you can wait for tomorrow and still buy it and the price will still be the same? But if you think the price is going to go up, that's when you can hurry and say, okay, I buy this and keep so that when the price goes up, I will not be the loser in the whole in the
right.
expenditure game. So please buy what you need today, rather than buying what you need next week, this week.
Yeah, let me weigh in here. Another thing that happens in our community, well, maybe not just our community, in line with cutting your cloth according your coat according to your cloth, or living within your means. Let's say, you know what we call jangi, Ambassador Lisa, in Africa, I don't know what they call it in Uganda. You probably know, where people meet every month, they contribute money, they socialize. And there are some people that want to host, like to host a monthly event. Different group members take time. The fact that somebody, the last host, cooked all kinds of delicacy and expensive dish doesn't mean you have to do the same.
That's
Don't go
true.
don't go and borrow money because you want to kill a goat, you want to kill a cow, you want to have all these same dishes. There are cheap African dishes that are also delicacies, something like puff and beans.
Mm-hmm.
For $10, you can feed everybody for puff and beans. For puff. For $10, you can make black beans or any kind of beans. I'm just saying, this cut your coat according to your cloth, or living within your means, doesn't go just with buying material things. It's also with hosting events, entertaining people. Yes, you went to an event. This person did this, they spent this, they had this musician, they had this celebrity. That doesn't mean you should do the same,
No.
Right.
because
Mm-hmm.
that's covetousness. Live according to your means. Do your own event according to your budget, according to your bank account. I
What
just
you
wanted
can
to mention
afford.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
what you can afford rather than going to borrow in order to afford. No,
Yes.
afford within your means.
I'm not aware of that custom, Reverend Pam, where we're having these monthly socials and people are taking turns, and
Yes.
I'm not aware of that, in Kenya or Uganda. Not saying that it's not happening.
Oh, it's probably there that you're just not aware of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say I'm just not aware of it.
Mhm.
But yes, you can't do what other people do. It's nice, I understand the mindset behind it, but you have to become comfortable, so comfortable with who you are and knowing who you are, that you won't be intimidated by the next person and what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. When you think about, I don't know if either one of you have seen the Grinch movie with Jim Carrey, and the two ladies were trying to outdo each other with the lights. They had to took the girl. One lady was trying. She didn't have that much money. Her husband was the postman, but the other lady was rich, and she then took the lights out of the refrigerator. She then took all the electricity to put all these lights up all around her because she was out trying to outdo her neighbor. We don't have to outdo our neighbor. We just need to do what is comfortable for us. And if doing these extravagant parties to have these social, just so somebody can say, oh, wow, we went to their house, you're doing it for the wrong reason. So make sure that your motives, check your heart motives to make sure that the reason you're doing these things are pure, because you want to have a fellowship, you want to have time for people to come over and share and just have some little light bites. And now one thing that you can do, thinking about it, if you're going to have these kind of socials, maybe if all the organizers get together and they make a set rule that we will not spend more than such and such for the decorating or the food. I just participated in our SEPTA bus competition. Each district got to decorate a bus, and we were on display. And this year, the bus that I was on, one, I didn't do any decorating. I just was a character on the bus. But there are rules. They're not allowed to spend more than $500 on the bus in decorations, whatever. The bus has to be decorated inside and out. And this year they used some of the new buses, so they couldn't take the seats out. Before they were using decommissioned buses, so they were allowed to take the seats out and do all sorts of things. So maybe if you and your fellow host will come together and decide that we're not going to spend more than this, because it is about the fellowship. It's supposed to be about the relationship. It's not supposed to be about I'm doing better than you and I can do it better than you. We're supposed to be having this fun social thing. You know, one thing I always wanted to do during the holidays but never got around to, I always wanted to get my neighbors together, and even if it wasn't my neighbors, it may be my church family. I always wanted to be able to start like Christmas morning at one person's house and maybe have breakfast. And breakfast would include pastries, you know, mini quiches and pastries and things like that. And then the next couple of hours, you'd go to the next house. And maybe there you would have, you know, dessert. Or you go to your family house and have your dinner, and then you go to someone else's house for dessert. I always want to have hot chocolate outside with the all the fixings, the marshmallows and things outside. And then, you know, as you walk down the street, going to the next neighbor's house, you would get something else. That invites community. That would be a nice way to do these social events if everyone choose to do one particular thing, if you were going to all do it in one time. So, but no, I have not heard. I'm going to ask my daughters if they have such a things uh, like that there in Ginger. So Nia Sung and I have talked for a very long time, and Reverend Pam and Dr. Gloria, and
Yes.
we are going to be cutting our show short today. It is Christmas. We want everyone to still be able to have fun and enough time to do the things that you need to do. I knew I needed to do some things today. So since my church was on the phone, I just grabbed the phone and jumped in the car and went on with it. So and was just making it back. Know why I needed some? Because I stopped and bought some things that was not on my list. If I'd have just went in that store and took that gift back and got them to take the security camera, that security tag off, and have been out the store, I could have been back. But no, I got to walk through the store and see what's new and do some extra shopping. So
If you walk, that's great. If you drive, no. Better keep the car aside and walk.
and you and I went early because one, I knew some of my neighbors would already be in church, which means their car would be going off the block, and I would be able to get back in time to be able to find a parking spot. But if I wait until after the show to go, then I'm running into time when people are starting to come home from church. Maybe they're bringing friends home from church, and then all those parking spots are gone. So I had to go get out while it was early so I can get back and get a parking spot. I still didn't get a parking spot because apparently nobody went to church today.
Maybe the weather. Maybe the weather was.
Yeah, my one neighbor who has specific designated parking because she's handicapped, she went to church today because I did see her spot was empty, but everybody else's cars were still there. I was like, nobody went to church today, but I was able to park around the corner where I think everybody went to church. Yeah. So at this time, we're going to play our Africa Online Anthem, and then we're going to come back and tell you about next week's topic, and then we're going to share our last words. So give me 1 second.
Sure.
To make sure that I have sharing rights.
Yes.
Yep. And here we go.
Oh, Africa. Oh, no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind AfricaOnline Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does, to identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. AfricaOnline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone, if we believe. Prosperity for Africans, if we believe. Medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. AfricaOnline Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the AfricaOnline Miracle Jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies. Africans own Africa.
No more lies. Africans own Africa. That song is our theme song, and it was written by our very own CEO, Her Royal Highness, Reverend Pam. And every time I think I can say her last name and I get ready to say it, I get choked up and I say, I'm not going to say it today because I don't want to mess it up.
Ambassador Lisa,
Yes.
before 2026 comes to an end, in 10 days, you and I need to do a one. Next Sunday, you must pronounce my last name. If you don't pronounce it, then I know you don't love me. So,
oh my God. Oh my God.
Call me.
That's a challenge.
It is 3 syllables. From moon noon.
Full moon nun. Fuminum.
No, there's no O at the end. It's noon. Fuminum.
Fuminum.
Phenomenon.
Reverend Pam Fomanon. I'm going to practice so I can say it next week without any hesitation, without being afraid that I'm going to mess it up.
Good. And then call me, we can practice it, because this December is not ending until you can pronounce my last name. And enough is enough. Dr. Crossley pronounces it well.
She does.
It well. Yes. And you have been with me longer than Dr. Crossley, so no excuses. Call me.
No more excuses. Nia Song, take it away. Oh, next week.
Please, Ambassador, don't hold back December. We want December to end. So please make sure you pronounce our name. Yes. We're going to do a round of the table. I don't know. I hope Dr. Crossley is still with us. If she is, please unmute and weigh in with your last word for this day. Stay within your budget. Don't spend when you don't have to. Okay. Cut your coat according to your cloth, or stay within your means. Dr. Crossley, your last word as we wrap up.
Yeah, so thanks for me being able to share. Everyone, thanks for this platform. It's always energizing and positive. And I would just like to say, I thank God for being the provider for everybody. Even the trees. I mean, the trees don't have to work hard at saying, oh, I'm going to be a tree and I'm just going to only let my leaves do this, or I'm only going to have this many fruit. God is in control, and he created us all to be happy and to celebrate him. And so we want to just keep our focus on his provision and his creation, because he put us in charge of it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, and have a great week, and please enjoy the Christmas. That said, Ambassador Prophetess Lisa, your turn.
Thank
your
you,
last word.
Thank you. Again, planning. That is the key. Think about the things that you need to do, where you need to go, who you need to be with, and plan those things into your schedule. We don't want to live beyond our means, but we want to be able to do a lot of things. So that requires planning. It requires time. It requires setting aside some, and it also requires giving up some things. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it too, as the saying goes. So that means you can't spend all your money this paycheck and assume that you're going to have a paycheck the next month, because you can be fired. So make sure that you've got something set aside for yourself for that self-care time, even if it's just treating yourself to a meal that you may want. We don't want to live beyond our means, but we do want to be able to be comfortable in all that we do. Again, this is Africa Online TV. Excuse me. And we are here every Sunday from 4 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we are delighted to come to you and share a variety of topics, a variety of speakers that help educate, empower, and be able to push you forward, whether you're on the continent or here in the diaspora. Join us on Facebook and or YouTube. Like and subscribe, and always be able to catch us here. Thank you again. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa to everyone.
Thank you very much. And now to the chair of AfricaOnline Media Corporation, Her Highness Reverend Dr. Pam Fomanon.
Good. And I want to thank God that Ambassador Lisa is finally going to say my last name so this year can come to an end. You know, I want to thank you, Nia Song, for your faithfulness, Ambassador Lisa. You were missed last week. Love your turtleneck sweater. Our beauty queen, Dr. Crossley, thank you so much. And thank you again for bringing Senator Antoine Thompson on. He will be in Ghana with us. I want to invite all our viewers. You know, Labor Day weekend, we're going to be in Ghana. We're going to be addressing Africa's health care. Thank you all so much. Live within your means. Cut your coat according to your size. Cut your coat according to your cloth. And don't try to be like somebody else, or don't be covetous. Merry Christmas to all of you. God bless.
God bless. Thank you all. Thank all of us for being here. And Ambassador Lisa, I just hope those trees behind you, the Christmas trees, I don't know why there are three, they must have a meaning for you.
Father,
whatever
Son,
it
Holy
is.
Ghost. Father, Son, Holy
Yes,
Ghost.
there you go.
Okay, okay. I did not think of that. I did not think of that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, let's enjoy the week and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.